Hello, children. It's time now for us to settle down and feel a little bit more relaxed because we've had such a busy day of activities. I've written you a bedtime story, so I wondered if you mind if I read it to you. Get yourself all snuggled down, get your blanket and your favourite toy, and let's see what happens in this story. This is called Amelia's Rainbow. Are we ready? Amelia was taking a lovely walk with her grandpa on a glorious sunny Sunday morning in the local park. Amelia loved being with her grandpa as he was always fun to be with. They would play hide and seek, find fir cones in the woods and put paper boats on the duck pond and watch them sail out to the centre of the water. Amelia was sitting on a swing when suddenly she noticed a few big drops of water landed on her nose. Oh no, she thought to herself. I am going to get completely soaked through. Grandpa knew what she was thinking and took her hand and helped her off the swing. There were lots of people already running towards the glass pavilion to get out of the rain, so Grandpa decided to take a quick run to hide under a group of tall trees. What fun! Grandpa just happened to see Mrs. Morris, who had had the same idea as them, and stood underneath the trees. Mrs. Morris was Grandpa's next door neighbour, and she loved to walk her dog called Whiskey. Whilst Grandpa was in conversation with Mrs. Morris, Amelia looked around at the area she was standing. She noticed a beautiful, shiny gold coin on the floor, completely out of place and a very odd thing to find. So she bent down to pick it up. As soon as she reached forward to grab the shiny piece of treasure, someone immediately slapped the back of her hand. She was so surprised, she quickly pulled her hand back towards herself. That's mine, said a little voice amongst the bushes. She looked closely, and there, hidden between the branches, was a little man all dressed in green. Amelia stared, and the little man stepped forward. That's mine, he repeated. Oh, sorry, Amelia stuttered. The little man was dressed from head to foot in bright green. His face was a little wrinkly around the eyes, which were a bright blue in colour. His cheeks were pink as roses, and his mouth seemed to be hidden underneath a huge reddish beard. In fact, you could only see his beard move when he spoke, and he couldn't see his lips at all. He had a lovely green jacket on with neatly buttoned white shirt underneath. His trousers were quite loose around his legs and only seemed to go as far as his knees. Below that were white stockings and very shiny black shoes, which combined with a gold buckle on top. A black belt with matching gold buckle held onto his slightly large tummy. On his head was a green hat, which looked rather like an upside-down bucket with a brim. This too had a black belt with a gold buckle. The little man stood with his hands on his hips, frowning at Amelia. If you don't mind, I will be having that back, said the little man. It's been a terrible day today, and ever since Mrs. Pettigrew's cow kicked over my pot of gold, I have been trying to find all my pieces ever since, he moaned. This must be gold coin number 374. I should have kept it in the pot where I first put it and left it there. How silly of me, said the little green man. Well, where do you normally keep your pot of gold? Amelia inquired. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, said the little man, with his eyes almost rolling back up to his eyebrows again. I can't tell you that. It's a secret, scoffed the little man. Amelia looked a little upset. After all, she was only asking. The little man saw how his sharp attitude had made Amelia feel a little uncomfortable. Oh, all right, all right, all right, he said quietly. I keep my pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. The sun shines on the gold and it helps shine all those beautiful colours you see in the sky. Now, I need you to promise not to tell anyone. If you do, everyone will want a piece of gold, and when there's nothing left, there'll be no rainbows. Imagine that. No rainbows. Amelia didn't know whether she was more surprised at seeing a little green man dressed in green hiding in the bushes, or the fact that rainbows looked so beautiful because of the gold which lay at the bottom of a rainbow. She decided to ask her grandpa. He was always full of wonderful ideas and so helpful that she turned to get her grandpa's attention, but then realised that she hadn't actually asked the little man's name. So she turned back to face the little man again. But he was nowhere to be seen. Where'd he gone? He had taken all of his gold coins too. Amelia felt Grandpa's hand gently grab hers. She looked up at him and smiled. It had stopped raining, so it was time to leave the cover of the trees and venture back out to the park area. As they made their way to the swings, which were now covered with small pools of water, Amelia looked up and saw the sun come out from behind a cloud. It was beginning to get warm, and soon the puddles will all be dried up. Suddenly, she noticed something else in the sky. The most beautiful rainbow had appeared and was shimmering up above them. It was the most beautiful rainbow she had ever seen. Both Amelia and her grandpa stood for a moment and looked up at that amazing sight. He must have found all his gold coins then, Amelia said with a smile. Grandpa looked down at Amelia and wondered what on earth Amelia was talking about. Did she tell him all about the little man that she had seen? No, of course not. Instead, she looked up at the rainbow and smiled her biggest smile. I hope you enjoyed that. So it's time now to snuggle down underneath your blankets and go to sleep. I hope you've had a lovely day. So go to sleep, sweet dreams, and I'm sure we'll see each other again. Good night.